Well, all right. So I think we're live. Hello. Welcome, everyone. I'm here today with the amazing Jenny Schatzle, and I'm so grateful you're here today. We're going to talk all about Jenny's journey with just her body image stuff, having her babies, how that changed for her, food stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I've been a yo-yo dieter all my life. I know that you've struggled with that as well. I remember the one post you made on Instagram when you're like, I'm getting rid of every freaking book I have on dieting, cookbooks, all of that. That was awesome. So let's start by number one. And Jenny started the JS movement. She's this just incredible entrepreneur. So she runs a business. She has two little girls, recently came into the world not too long ago, Copenhagen. And so I just wanted her to share her story here because she has overcome so many obstacles just with food and body. And I know my tribe is on the same path, and we're all just really trying to change the conversation around this, right? Because in the media, right, we are programmed to look a certain way, to be a certain way, and it's like a one size fits all. So welcome, Jenny. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited. And hi, everybody out there. I hope you can see us and hear us. And
I hope so too.
yeah, we're excited to talk to you.
Awesome. So let's just start off by just tell us a little bit about what you're currently doing. So what you currently do, and then we'll get into the backstory of everything.
Okay. So for those of you that don't know, I own a gym here in Santa Barbara, and I love it. I've been in the fitness industry for 20 years, and I have 2 TED Talks. I have an online program, and just 20 months ago, I had twin girls. That has changed my life. And I have an incredible husband who's a firefighter in Carpinteria, which is 10 minutes out of Santa Barbara. And, right now life is really good. And I'm really focusing on the fact of, I love how you said it, helping people change the conversation about a multitude of things, about fitness, about body image, and self-worth. And along with that comes nutrition.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think we're going at it all wrong, to be totally honest. So
I agree.
I think you and I are on the same page, but we're going a lot against the grain of what's happening. And so I'm very passionate about it. And my whole thing is, much like yourself, I grew up on a toxic diet cycle. I've been in the fitness industry for 20 years. And I used to do all the things. I used to weigh people in. I used to give people restrictive diets. And what I realized was you can lose all the weight in the world. And if you don't like the person you see in the mirror, you're never going to be happy. And the biggest thing I saw is these people doing the exact same thing. I mean, ultimately, I was doing it too, is, losing weight, gaining weight. It never lasted. People always, was obsessed about this number on the scale. And a big thing for me was, and I know this is hard to hear for a lot of people that are listening probably, but a lot of us are products of our home. And this actually started before I had kids. My niece at 16 years old, I found out had an eating disorder. And for me, that was a big wake-up call, because I realized what she was seeing and learning had now become her reality. All we ever did was talk about food. We were either dieting or we were binging. And in my family, we bonded a lot through food, but through like binging and like, oh, it's Sunday, it's cheat day. So we're going to get all the foods we're not allowed to eat. And then on Monday, we're all going to start cleansing or dieting together.
Oh, the classic start over on Monday.
Everybody, right? It's never Tuesday. Right. It's always on a Monday.
It's always Monday.
It's always Monday. Yes.
Poor Monday.
I know, right? And so, for her, she was actually a catalyst for me. And this was it was 2 or 3 years ago. It was a big wake up call, because I realized I was a role model to her and I was not sending the right message. And we were constantly talking about our bodies. Oh, we need to lose weight. Oh, we need to do this. And we're a very fit family. And, but the messages she was getting were not positive ones. So I did a lot of work. And and I'm really proud of myself, and I'm really excited about the place I'm in now, because, I want to help change the conversation for women and for moms and for people, because I want to help people feel good about themselves. And here's the thing. We want to change it for our kids, but we're not willing to change it for ourselves. And I think that's a big one, because all of the things, our body issues, our food issues, they came from somewhere. And the problem is we want better for everyone else, but we're not willing to change ourselves. And so if we want to change the conversation for them, whether it's your kids, your husband, your wife, your coworkers, it's got to start with you.
Yeah. You got to change yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
that's it in a nutshell right there. That was a lot.
So good. No, it's so good. So
never gonna get me to shut up.
No, I love how passionate you are about this. I'm so passionate about it too, because it's so important. I was raised in a house with 2 older brothers, looking at Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazine. By the age of 12, I was like hating my body, and I had already started all the body image stuff. So how old were you when it started? Like for you, when you first started to notice, like, I don't like my body and I have to diet and I have to look a certain way. And I mean, I put so much value in the way my body looked. I thought if I look a certain way, I'll be loved. Right. And so that was like my lifelong journey of like trying to, get this certain type of body.
Absolutely. And I think for all of us, I just think those like junior high school years are just so, like you said, 12 years old, it's so hard. And everybody goes through this awkward stage. But if you think back, like there was a point where we did not care. Right? You were just like
totally
free and wild until somebody said something or something happened. And then, or you like noticed, oh, that is what my brother likes and boys like, or girls or whatever. And, and then you start comparing yourself to others. It's a downward spiral. And I mean, everybody who's on here, I don't know the age, but I mean, could you imagine being in high school right now with social media and phones and like, I mean, think about how it gives me goosebumps. Think about how hard it was already, right? You already feel left out. You already feel awkward. You're already body conscious. And now these kids it's all they see.
I know.
And a lot of them are just, it's like, you walk down the street and you see a teenager doing an Instagram photo shoot. It's like and then they're posting it as if it was real life. For me, that's very upsetting because I think we are, if you do look at my Instagram or my Facebook, one of my main platforms is being very real and raw and authentic. Like I'm very passionate about showing it all, that my family is not perfect. I am not perfect. And this is what we need to be talking about.
I agree.
Is the struggles, because every single one of us is struggling.
That's right. And no one's life is perfect. And the social media is the highlight reel. It's like, oh, here's the perfection. And here's this pose or that pose and the way I look and the filter. And it's just, nothing's real anymore.
It's so true. And you think about those kids, but it's also adults. Like we do it to each other. It's crazy. Like you have kids and you'll start comparing your kids like, oh my gosh, that kid's well, should my kid be doing that? Or even like, look how perfect their family looks. Or like you own a business. You'll spend hours looking at other people's businesses, feeling, down about what you're doing. And you've just wasted that time.
I know.
For what? But we do it. Why do we keep looking at things that aren't going to make us feel good about ourselves?
Right.
And a lot of us, that's what our feed is.
Yes.
So I think one thing and I kind of just went off subject here, but I think it's really important to change that. Like start with,
agreed.
Stop looking at the things that aren't going to make you happy. You said I got rid of I had 3 huge bags of diet books. It was like, it was, and I don't want to like compare it to hoarders. I'm not a hoarder in any way, but
no, I get it.
Like, I couldn't release it. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. It was really hard for me to like, well, maybe I am going to need that book. And then I had to make the decision, like, this isn't how I want my life to be anymore. I don't want to diet. So it's time to get rid of it and start this new chapter. And so I think a lot of us, and because I'm very much about talking about how I like to live, but also giving, like, we need to give each other tools, right?
Absolutely.
So how do we change? Well, awareness is how we change, because all of the negative stuff comes up, especially if you've been struggling with food and body image. That stuff's always going to come up.
Yeah.
The voice will get softer, I promise you. But so it's gotta start with, like, number one is you need to release the things in your life that no longer serve you. And so for me, dieting no longer served me. So I needed to get rid of all those books. When I'm on social media, the people who, and it's no offense, but like, if you have really strong political views and you're an angry person, I don't need to read your stuff, so I can unfollow you. If you're posting in a thong and you're always giving me a message that I don't want to see, nothing's wrong with the thong, but I'm just saying, if it's these like all made up,
I guess
you get what I'm saying, right? It's not a real picture,
right?
It's just something that's going to make me feel not, my self-value is going to go down. I don't need to look at it.
Right.
It's nothing against that other person. It's a choice I need to make for myself.
It's your choice. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And,
there's tool number one is start
yeah,
releasing the things that no longer serve you
agreed. And
for the
so,
change you want to make.
yes. And so that's a great first step. And I believe that mindset also is everything. And you're talking about the negative voices and all of that. And, a lot of the work that I do with my clients is all about shifting their mindset and getting out of diet mindset, because we can get rid of the books, right? But the mindset is still there. And so what do you do on a daily basis to keep your mind like in the right, if you will, place? Just continue to feed yourself in that more positive way, because those voices are there. We're programmed that way, right? And it's
100%.
so, yeah. So like,
Yeah.
what are you doing to help support your mindset, and how did that really, like, what were some things you did to shift that mindset for yourself?
So the first one is I released everything that no longer serves me. And because it is true, like if you no longer want to diet, why are you looking at diet books all day?
That's
So
right.
but the second is like I said, awareness. These voices are going to come up, but it's up to you whether you give them power and life, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So it's about a perspective change. So first of all, like working out, I own a gym. I've been in the fitness industry for 20 years, and I've heard it all. And
I bet.
Oh my gosh! And most of all, it's like, oh, if I just lose this last 20 pounds,
then
this
I'll
last
be
10 pounds, then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I will tell everyone watching this, I've been at my goal weight. And the thing is, most of the time when we're at our goal weight, we don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Because it's never enough.
Right.
We're constantly chasing a number on the scale, or how fast you run, or how many miles you got in. It's never enough. No. When I was at my leanest, leanest weight and the fastest I've ever run, and body fat and all of that, all I ever saw what was wrong with my body instead of what was right.
Right.
And this is one way we're programmed. And like you said, mindset is we are constantly looking at what's wrong with ourselves. Mm-hmm. So we get out of the shower, and the first thing you say when you look at yourself is, oh, look at my stomach. Oh, my arm, look at my arms, look at my thighs. And we're constantly looking at what is wrong with our bodies instead of what is right. And I know this is like, we see this kind of stuff everywhere, but it's one thing to see it and actually put it into action. Yes. So I'll be honest, and I've been doing this for years, and I still do it. Every day, every morning I get out of the shower. No, I take that back because I don't shower every day. Let's be honest here. When I get a chance to take a shower and I look in the mirror, I say one thing I like about my body.
Yes.
That's huge. It's just, and sometimes, and I don't necessarily love the term fake it till you make it, but sometimes you've got to say those things to yourself, even when you don't believe them, because the more you say them, I would rather be pumping that positivity than recirculating the negativity. Yeah. Yeah. And we take for granted our bodies, which are literally the most powerful things. I mean, I birthed 2 children. Like, amazing. Whether you give birth or not, but women are the most powerful beings on the planet. Yet we are the ones who are so mean to ourselves. It's insane.
I know.
And it's like, if you literally sat up, took a breath, and put your feet on the ground, you're doing a lot better than other people.
That's true.
And this is the perspective that we don't have. It's always like, oh, I wish I was thinner. I wish I had more money. I wish I had a better husband. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. And if you change that perspective into thinking, like, exactly being grateful, changing that mindset into, oh my gosh, I really do have a lot. Yeah. All of this is great. Because I'll be honest, you don't get a second chance at this life. No. So you got 2 ways you can look at it. You can keep wishing, or you can realize how privileged and how grateful you should be for the things that you have. So I've really changed, and I'm super grateful for the life that I have every single day. Even on my most horrible day, I still got it. I'm up, I'm breathing, I'm walking, and I'm able to move. And my big thing with the fitness is I've really changed my perspective. I'm all about moving now. Again, if you go to my Instagram, I post these 5-minute workouts, and I do it every Monday. I got my kids in the house because I own a gym and I can't make it to the gym. Yeah. Like, my life is drastically changed.
Oh my God, the soup can workout that you did with the girls the other day. Are you kidding me? That was awesome. I'm like, I wish I had soup cans in the house. I don't have soup cans, but that was you guys should check out Jenny's Instagram. It's awesome. Jenny Schatzle. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just about, and because also I realized, like, when we don't move, we go into these dark places.
Yes,
After having kids,
true.
I had postpartum, I had all this stuff, and I have 2 kids, and my husband's a firefighter. So he's gone a lot. And it was really, really hard. And I just started out with like, I just got to get outside and walk around the block for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
just do
it
something.
was
5
just
minutes.
do something.
Yeah.
Just do something. And 5 minutes is better than no minutes.
That's
and
right.
we take that for granted. And so now I choose to move because it makes me feel good. I no longer go and work out because I need a full 45 minutes or I need to lose weight or I need to burn X amount of calories. I move, 1, because I can, and 2, because I know when I'm done, I'm going to feel better.
That's right. That's right.
And it's a beautiful thing. And now
Totally.
so often, so if we're going with is, number 1 is get rid of all things that no longer serve you around you, in your house, on your feed.
And people.
Number 2, and people. Oh, yeah. Oh, don't even get me started on that. Yes. And people, and join groups like this, full of like-minded people that want to support you and love you. This is what our gym is all about. This is what my online program is all about. And this is what your group and what you do is all about.
Absolutely.
And number 2 is really changing that perspective. Yeah. And instead of always looking at what's wrong, start looking at what is right. Yeah. And the third thing is really changing, like, if you just changed a few words in your vocabulary, instead of saying, I have to go work out.
Yeah.
And you said, oh, today I get to go work out.
Yes.
Because in my life, that's true. Like, I don't get to work out every day. It's crazy. Yeah. But like, if I get to go on a walk, whenever we task things to ourselves, so if we say, I have to do that, it becomes a task and you take the joy out of it.
Right.
And we've taken the joy out of movement.
Yes, I know. And then the classic should, right? I should do this, or I should do, like, you should all over yourself. You
stop shooting on yourself.
Stop shooting on yourself.
And shooting on other people. Like, that's it. Yes.
I know. Because it's all guilt. It's all guilt-based. None of it is positive. None of it is supportive. It's just all guilt-based. Like, I should be doing this. I mean, I had a client on the phone the other day that was saying that. And I said, what if you just focused on having fun and let all that other crap go? And she goes, oh my God, I just feel like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders because I never thought about that before. Like, I just thought, I have to do this. I have to do that. I should do this. I should do that. And it's like, well, if you go and have fun, then what do you think that's going to do for your life? Right? I mean, it's
so true. And Valentine's Day, this is a little sidebar here, but Valentine's Day was yesterday. And I did a post about how, I didn't get married till I was 36. I had babies at 37.
That. So good.
And I can't tell you the amount of messages I got, especially from younger single people. And, thank you for this. It's so good to hear this. And I was writing back to all these people and I said, and this can go for anything, but just be like, we think we should do all these things like, oh, I should be married by 30. I should be making this amount of money. I should be doing this. But the thing is, the people who are doing all those things, they're not necessarily happy.
No.
Like, just because you're married or getting married doesn't mean you're happy. Just because you made a certain amount of money doesn't mean you're happy. So we're comparing ourselves to people and we don't even know their stories. We don't know if they're, so like, let all of that go. And this is, the thing that I see too is, it is so true. Status, money, looks, your body weight, none of that makes you happy.
No. It starts from the inside. It's all an inside job.
Yes.
So can you just talk to, I know that like, this is just such a silly thing, but I just want you to talk to people who are perfectionists and live in that black and white thinking, especially, I know this is going to light you up. That's why I'm asking, especially with like food and their bodies and all that stuff. So can you speak a little bit to that? And like, what do you tell perfectionists and what do you tell people who are so black and white? Like, oh, I ate a cupcake, so screw it. I'm just going to I'll start over tomorrow. Right. We've all done that.
Oh my God. Yes.
Ridiculous. Like so black and white.
Yeah. So I have one of my very good friends who's helped change my life. She's a nutrition therapist and her name is Heather Lengel and she's amazing. And she said something to me one time and it blew my mind. She said, how you eat is how you live.
Oh yes. That's huge.
I was like, oh,
that's huge. It's all connected.
You see the A type, you see the extremists, you see, you see all of this. And it's so true. How you eat is how you live. And, a lot of people with the food, especially if we're just talking about food, it's a way to control everything.
Yeah.
Right. So like you think, and I'll say this is another thing with the food is, we've gotten so used to listening to everybody else on what we should
Yes.
eat that we don't trust ourselves.
That's right.
And I remember when I first started this, because anyone who's watching this, I've been where you are. I'm telling you, 1 million, I've done every diet.
Me too.
I was a binger. I was a,
Yep.
binge diet. I was all or nothing.
Yep.
And I remember when I first started this, I was like, you can't tell me I can just eat whatever I want. Like, there's no way. I'll gain 50 pounds. All I'll ever eat is pizza and burgers. And I was like, and it takes a while, you got to unlearn everything you've learned. And the problem is, we are, with anyone who's a perfectionist, I will tell you right now, the problem is everybody wants the quick fix. Which we know. That's why diet books are $1 billion industry.
Right.
And everybody wants the quick fix. You got to go back to the root of why you're doing it all, right? Like, there is a reason that you are so A-type perfectionist. There is a reason that you sit on the couch and binge. There is a reason, and it's not the food.
No.
We think it's the food. You think you're addicted to sugar. You are not. Okay. It's not the sugar.
Agreed.
It's everything else that you're unwilling to deal with.
Right.
And I will tell you, and this is very like my term of the year is serve you. Like, being a perfectionist, honestly, and this is again hard to hear, a lot of times it doesn't serve you and it doesn't serve the people in your life.
That's right. That's right.
And so
you can't be authentic and be perfect at the same time, right?
Well, it's not perfection is not real. It's not real. I always say, find and I don't, and again, this is just personal, but I don't believe there's such thing as balance.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think we find, you find the balance in the unbalance. And what I mean by that is, like, you can plan everything and there's just, life's going to happen. And so for me, there's like, some days are more work days. Like today, it's a really long work day. I was up at 4:30. I had to be at the gym at 5. It's, I have a sitter for 10 hours today. But some days, but then all weekend, I'm home with the kids. I'm turning the phone off. Some days are really high work days. Some days are high family days. Right. And I don't have guilt or shame. Those are choices I'm making. Yeah. And I think that that's what comes with perfectionism, is guilt and shame, because if something didn't go perfectly the way you wanted it to, then you feel bad, and the guilt and shame does not serve you.
No. Mm-mm.
So when you can let that go and be like, oh, you know what, today I'm going to work a long day. My kids are in great hands. They're loving the person who helps us is so great. And then tomorrow we're going to have the best family day ever. And anyone who needs me business-wise, I'll see you on Monday.
See you Monday. Exactly.
See you Monday.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's really about, I agree with that whole thing about balance, because I feel like we're all like, oh, I need to have balance and this and that. But I feel like there's so many things that are also circumstantial, and it's like, how are you showing up? That's really the most important part, right? Like, how do you show up in your day-to-day life in any given situation? And are you responding or are you reacting, right? We want to be more responding and being available and open, and not reacting and just taking, a lot of times it's like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen. How can I respond versus react and get all freaked out over it, right?
And that's ultimately how your life turns out, is how you react to things.
That's
because
right.
Things are going to happen. You're going to go to a meeting. The technology is not going to work. Somebody doesn't show up. Your kids are sick at school, or, I mean, it's in every circumstance, but it's how you choose. If you choose to put the wall up and freak out and say, this isn't, nope, this can't go this way. Well, it's like, you don't have a choice. You know, it's happened. So now what the choice you do have is how you react.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think a lot of that with the mindfulness is, when things don't go your way, when the perfectionism comes up, to take a step back, take a deep breath, and say, how am I going to choose to react to this? Because however I choose, ultimately that's the outcome. So it can be a positive or negative outcome, but it depends on your action.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, choosing is huge, because we do have a choice. That's one thing, right? We do have a choice about how we're going to respond, how we're going to eat, what we're going to eat. When we have a choice, which is, a lot of people don't have a choice, right?
Absolutely.
And then we take that for granted, and then we just complain about everything. Oh, I'm overweight, I'm this and that. But like, we have a choice. We get to choose. And I always tell my clients, take that word control out of your vocabulary. Stop trying to control everything and choose instead, right? Just show up.
Great way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. And I think too, you have the choice to listen to that inner critic. We all have. I don't care who you love. Like, that's Rachel Hollis, Michelle Obama, like whoever you love, they have that same voice. Like, Every
Yep.
single one of us. And this is the one thing you learn, like we're all, yeah, some people obviously, you know, you're famous, you're this, you're that, whatever. But we're all humans.
We're
We're
all
all in the
humans.
same playing field. Like stop putting people on such a pedestal that they have it better than you. And, you know, think about how great you have it. Right.
That's
And
right.
we all have this same, they have their own struggles. We all do. And that voice is going to come up no matter who you are. And I always
That's
tell
right.
people, you have the choice whether to listen to it or not.
Yep.
And when that voice comes up, you have the choice to say, you're right. I am fat and I am old and I am wrinkly and I am broke and I am unhappy. Or you have the choice to say, when that voice comes up, not today.
Yep. No, thank you.
No, thank you. Not
Yeah.
today.
Don't
Yeah.
board the train. Don't get on
Yeah.
the train.
I gave my voice a name and I'm like, not today, Tammy.
Oh,
See you
yeah.
later. Yeah. Not today.
Not going to listen today.
Yeah. And and then I take my power back. And my healthy self, you have two, a healthy self, a critic. My healthy self is now way stronger.
Yeah, right. You have to build that muscle, right? It's like we all have that higher wisdom within us, and it's just we don't access it enough and use it enough, and so it's just we just have to build the muscle and do it over and over. Like even that fake it till you make it. I don't really like that either, but yeah, in a lot of ways, by redirecting those thoughts and just changing them into something else more positive and focusing on like all the things we do have and all the things we can be grateful for and how amazing our bodies are, right? Like they're miracles. I mean, you gave birth to two beautiful, amazing little babies and you're right. It's just, I've been in 2 live births at home births. I mean, it was the most mind blowing thing I've ever seen, you know? And so, okay. Well, I don't want to take any more of your time. I'm so glad you were here. Is there any one last just thought that you have for people who are in this struggle with food in their bodies? And I know that's kind of a really big thing, but just one little thought that you can share.
You know, I think it is really that stop listening to everybody else and the diets and society and the fact that, you know, this diet worked for your best friend and she swears by it. Well, I think if we can start to tune that stuff out and start following our own intuition and listening to what we really want in all aspects of our life, we're not only going to change the conversation for ourselves, but we're going to help change it for everyone around us.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much. You
Thank
guys,
you.
you can find Jenny Schatzle on Instagram and Facebook. And your fitness studio is now called Bond Fitness. Is that correct?
It is. We rebranded.
Yes,
we're super excited.
That's so awesome. I love it. I love the name. So
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Jenny's incredible. If you ever come to Santa Barbara, you got to go check out her studio and work out with her. It's amazing. But thank you so much, Jenny.
Thank you so much. It was so fun.
All right. Bye.
Okay,
Take
bye.
care.